times whatever that length is. The third harmonic, and this is where the naming gets messed up, or I guess depends on how you want to define a harmonic. But the next harmonic that we can produce is, I think, what Zachary was thinking about. It's
like
the fish.
that. Yeah. It's like the Jesus fish.
Yeah,
Yep.
Was it alpha?
Yep.
Jesus fish.
And how many waves is this?
Give me go with. Well, that's a half.
Three quarters.
3/4.
And again, that part still stays the same regardless of what the pattern is, the fact that we add a half wave every single time. Now, this is the third harmonic, and the fact that this is 3 times that is part of it, just because the powers that be. I'm sure there's video out there where I call this the second harmonic. It's actually, this is the point where overtones potentially make sense to use, even though I probably won't. But this is the first overtone. And the fifth harmonic would be the second overtone. It's only odd numbers for the harmonics.
So there's no evens at all.
Right.
Is it because you can't have both sides closed?
If both sides are closed, then we no longer have the free end.
Dang.
And so the wavelength is 4/3 of the lake.
Is it always a reciprocal?
Is there always?
Is it always a reciprocal?
Yeah, if I have L is equal to a certain number of wavelengths, if I'm isolating that, I'm gonna multiply times the reciprocal.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So there is no second?
There's no second harmonic.
Okay.
If you look at some of the old tests, I had one fixed, one free end, and what is the fourth harmonic for something like this? That's a mistake.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
You could put it on there as like an actual one and be like see like who you can get with that. Like
Yeah, there's that possibility too. It's just, unfortunately, I just got in my head that that's the second harmonic, then the third harmonic, first, then second, then third. And then later realized that either my memory was off, or things had changed, or I just got pig-headed and refused to change.
I'm not.
So the second harmonic isn't the second harmonic, it's the first overtone.
The first overtone is the third harmonic.
But aren't we just adding half a wavelength to each one of those per overtone?
Yeah.
So.
But we had 1/2 there, then we had 2 halves, then we had 3 halves, then we had 4 halves. Here we have a quarter, then we have 3/4.
Yeah, and that's just adding a half, right? So why is that not the second overtone?
You need to talk to the people who write the textbooks.
Oh, so that is just weird like that for
Yeah.
no reason?
It-
Okay.
Somewhere along the line, they decided that harmonics was going to be, from starting with some base, the harmonic is whatever you're multiplying times the base. So here we have a quarter of a wavelength, here we multiply times 3 to get the next one.
Oh, okay.
So the third harmonic.
That makes more sense.
So what exactly is an overtone then?
It's just the,
They cross? Or
no, overtone is just the terminology. The first overtone is just the next, after the first one, the first overtone is the next harmonic that you can produce.
Oh, okay.
The second harmonic, the second overtone is the next one after that.
Okay.
Which, for these, seems a little bit more sense that, second is the first, that's the second, and so on. For this one, though, first overtone, third harmonic, second overtone, fifth harmonic, third overtone, seventh harmonic.
Okay.
It's just vocab and just a warning that if you're looking at old papers, old tests, that some of the language might be off. All right, so we need to come up with the audio function generator. And the question is, what frequency should we use? So if I did 500 hertz. Oh, wrong one.
That's about 360 hertz.
There we go.
On sale for like $200. It's crazy.
All right, so that's 500 hertz.
They just came out with they were just like 2001.
All right, so let's predict a prediction about where the first harmonic is going to be. In other words, how big does the air column need to be in order to be able to hear this first harmonic? All right, so the wavelength is going to be, see, that was a 500 hertz frequency. I need to figure out what is the wavelength. So how would we find the wavelength?
Isn't it 4 times the length?
Yeah, but we don't know the length yet. That's what we're trying to find. We're trying to find L.
Is it because we know the speed of sound and the frequency, we can find the, or I'm sorry, that we can find
Yep.
the wavelength?
The speed is equal to the frequency times the wavelength. So wavelength is speed over the frequency. So again, we'll stick with 340 meters per second divided by 500 hertz.
Okay, so that 340 is given, like the given speed of light or whatever.
Speed of light is going to be a constant. Speed of sound varies depending upon a lot of different variables.
But, like on a question, do you give us that?
I either give it to you or I give you the formula to plug in. The dominant factor for speed of sound is the temperature, air temperature. So there are formulas out there based upon the temperature.
Does it change a lot based off temperature, or is it pretty negligible?
It is, I'm going off memory on this one, which is usually a bad thing. 0.331 meters per second per degree Celsius.
That is actually pretty big.
That's it, yeah. I don't
Let me
know.
double check that.
I don't know if it's something you can notice, but it's measurable. It's a measurable difference.
I'm sure Newton was yelling off mountains that were cold and hot to find that one out.
Speed of, so,
I wouldn't be. An apple drop. You think you'd be worried about a concussion?
so for every degree Celsius, the speed of sound changes by 0.6 meters per second.
Wow. That is a really
That's
sizable
surprising.
change.
Yeah.
Which is just shy of 2 degrees Fahrenheit. I guess 1.8 degrees. For every change in 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit, it's 0.6 meters per second. All right, so what is the wavelength?
0.68.
0.68?
16 or meters, sorry.
Sorry, what was that?
0.68
Okay, units? All right,
meters.
so that is the wavelength, and so we should expect our first harmonic to be at a quarter of that.
So, 17?
All right. So 17 centimeters. Now, there's a ruler along here, or a measuring tape along the side of it. And for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why, all of them start 2 centimeters below the top. They were consistent about it. And so whatever measurement we get on here, we're gonna add the 2 centimeters.
That is weird.
Yes. I thought a couple times I've come up with explanations, but they never really panned out. So first how high up can we get this? We need more water, that's ultimately what we're going for here. Oh. Oops. And, yep, all right, so we're gonna be in range. About to squeak it. Oh, that was better.
Ooh.
the more the dangerous the overflow when we have to go down there for the greater harmonics.
Okay.
And so when, in the lab situation, I think that generally happened, the first incarnation of it, they eventually went for the fifth harmonic, and there were a number of times where, get a trash can nearby so it could dump water quickly. Oh, that's the wrong button. And reset.
Is that playing from the speaker?
Good. Too far? All right. What?
Alright. I was excited about this.
It's going for the full reboot process now.
Oh no.
Understand.
Good times.
Oh. I don't think there's a kink in the hose, but it's not going up as high up as it did before, so I'm not quite sure what I saw before, or, oh, what if there was a kink in the hose and that limited flow? I'll be back with the water.
Alright. The new Call of Duty's lit.
I've played COD since like Advanced Warfare.
I played Call of Duty 3 on the PS2 when I was like 7. I remember,
That was a lit game.
I remember the tutorial taking me a good 45 minutes.
I remember playing the original Modern Warfare 2. That was really
Y'all
good.
like,
That was
Yeah.
really good.
y'all like playing the new one?
I've
I like
played-
that.
What even is the new one?
It's Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
That's the one I played.
Yeah, but this one's new.
Yeah.
It's not with a 2, it's with a 2.
TWO?
No, but it's
Oh,
the
or
sequel
like
of the
Roman
new
numeral
Modern
too.
Warfare.
Yeah, but it's got,
Oh.
it does the Roman numeral instead of
I
the
thought they were
number.
gonna
No.
remaster the old one, and I was excited.
Oh,
but
that
the
would've
new
been
one-
better.
They already
it's
did.
pretty cool.
Does it still have Spec Ops?
No, it's like,
Yep,
it's
that's-
just like, if they got a campaign, they got multiplayer. You
I
know?
just-
No, the new one's got co-op missions.
Wait,
It does?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
wasn't that one the one that had the zombies in it? Or am I thinking
Have-
of the one
there's a
with
lot
the
of
bad
black
guys?
zombies in
That's,
it.
yeah, that's the Black Ops.
I remember playing Black Ops.
Wait, what? I thought there was one earlier than that.
World
Because
at
I
War.
remember playing it with.
World at War was the first one that had zombies.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was the one that came after
It's
four.
because there's two teams
I
that
thought it
make,
was Black
there's
Ops.
two teams that make Call of Duty, and one of them has the rights to zombies, and one of them doesn't. So only
It's
Treyarch,
Treyarch,
right?
yeah.
Only Treyarch could do zombies.
I like Modern Warfare, no, Advanced Warfare. That's the one.
That one was, I thought it was cool when I was a kid, but then I was like, no, this thing is actually
That
kind
is
of bad.
really full there.
I was so good at it, dude. Like my permanent KD ratio was like 11. Like out of all the games, dude, I was absurd.
No, yeah. Okay. I like the newer one because of how they do the attachment. You have to play with all the guns to get attachment.
All right, I have too much water in here.
What do you
Would somebody
need?
bring the trash can over here, please? And then I'm gonna need a volunteer because I lack the coordination to.
Okay, I'll volunteer. Well, I don't have
Right
any
there?
coordination.
Okay.
Oh! You think it's gonna spill?
All right. So definitely try not to unplug this. Despite that's what the cool people are doing.
Hold this.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, it is pretty nasty in here.
Actually, let me-
With dust.
bring it bring the water level up to lift that higher.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Oh,
Somewhere
so-
around there. Don't unplug. All right, so I'm gonna lower the volume so that this doesn't drown out what I want you to hear. Actually, disconnect that. All right, now lower it. Do you hear that?
Yeah, oh my god, that's crazy.
Okay, up. Down. Keep going. All right, that was around 14 centimeter on here, so add the two, 16 centimeters.
Oh, what are we predicting?
And we had predicted 17 centimeters, and so it was around 16. All right, so we'll do the prediction for the next one also. So the wavelength should be 4/3 of the length.
Oh,
Sorry, the length should be 3/4 of the wavelength. Our wavelength is 68 centimeters.
okay, so it should be 48?
It should be something odd.
Should it? I mean,
I got 51 centimeters.
All right, or 0.51 meters. So the next harmonic should happen when it's down here somewhere.
You need me to hold it again?
Yeah, I think, unless you want to do the speaker here.
Yeah.
A volunteer, please. We do that one? Okay. Or it's gonna be down here somewhere. Go back up. Maybe too hard it there.
sounds about right, right?
Make it quieter. All right, drop it. Don't bring it down to air. There we go. Yeah. So somewhere around, looked like 44 centimeters plus the two, 46 centimeters, and we predicted 51 centimeters. And if you go up, we should hear somewhere around here again. Around here. And first harmonic coming up. And hopefully you can hear that just got a little bit louder there. All right, thank you. Now,
There was sound on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty quiet, and then like it got a little bit louder when we got to the right length or height.
I couldn't hear it. It was
the
pretty
chances
quiet.
I've got a tuning fork there.
Tuning.
I mean, you got so many different objects that I wouldn't be surprised.
It's got a histology textbook.
Just histology.
I don't even
To do
know.
with cells, I think.
Yeah.
I thought it was something about history the
Oh, I
first
thought it
time.
was the logic of history. I was like, okay.
I am gonna grab one more prop, just because I think it's gonna work better than that did, as much as I wanted that to work. I apologize for this, but I will be right back. You know what, why don't we just take 5?
Take five.
Yeah.
Well, by the time we're done taking 5, I will take my leave.
And I'm just gonna let that run so that, oh, actually, what are the, all right, it's still bright, so it's not about to run out of juice. Okay.
I will say this is one of the units that's like made the most sense to me, like with the blades and stuff. I like
Good.
this. I like this one.
Yeah, it's like the first one that I'm like understanding right off the bat.
Yeah,
Not
like, I'm
gonna go home and
understanding.
struggle.
Like a few weeks ago, I just understood chapter 6.
I'm still lost. I'm still lost on everything from chapter 8. Like,
Do they have vending machines downstairs?
yeah.
They do.
Okay.
And the bookstore has a lot of food too.
I just want a drink.
I think they sell drinks too.
I might run
So
down
we go
there.
3 must go.
They got like mom, they got everything, dude.
Cold drinks already and stuff.
Who does?
The bookstore. I got a lot of stuff.
How was test 5 for you in Cal?
Terrible.
Terrible. Same. I'm doing it again today.
What did you guys do it on?
Sorry?
What was the concept?
Oh,
No, we're talking about calc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but what for-
Oh god, what was it? Like surface area of revolution.
Yeah.
Improper integrals.
yeah.
And tables or integration by
Right, with
using the tables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are there?
Yeah.
That shit's tough.
Maybe it's different.
We were. We're at like P series and stuff.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I like that one.
I just did tests on like stuff like ratio tests and root tests. and
Yeah,
stuff.
we just did that today. We're covering that.
It's like-
Is that hard? You know,
Well,
give us
it's-
some.
I hate the formula. It's like when the teacher explains it, it's so much easier. But my math teacher gave me like a big formula sheet, and it just does not make sense.
Big form.
I think the problem with me is like knowing when to use which one. I guess. Like,
It's always easy to
I'm
start
really